Hey, pal. You ready? Can you pick me up at 6:30?
I'm here.
Too late.
I'll go for 5 minutes. Move it. You're killing me. You know what, Dad? I'm good.
It may be quite a while before he's ready, but our Subaru Legacy will be waiting for him.
It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
University Subaru.
The Wise Choice!
Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Wednesday, January 20th. Pleasure to have you with us today. KRISTEN Eiffert is here, Central Missouri Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Pleasure to have you here, KRISTEN.
Yeah.
So today we're talking about what?
Well, we are sponsoring another program at the library on the 30th, so just in a little bit. It's another kids cooking class, free program. So our target is 3 to 9-year-olds. Come with an adult.
3-year-old? You're teaching 3-year-olds to cook?
Yeah, you 3-year-olds can help in the kitchen.
So what are the 3-year-olds going to learn?
Well, for this class, we're going to be doing, it's a Fun Fiesta. So we're going to be making whole wheat tortillas. So the kids will have a chance to roll out dough, which is awfully fun, you know, rolling that stuff out. And you can be messy, flour. The library is great with that kind of mess.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be making tostadas with those homemade tortillas that we make.
So as far as cooking, are you actually going to be cooking with a stove or a hot plate?
Well, the adult helpers in the class will be actually dealing with the hot stuff. So
the 3-year-olds won't be at the stove with the hot stuff.
They'll be rolling and chopping with a plastic knife and spreading. All those are great skills for kids to have. So.
And the important thing the message you're trying to get across too is how important it is to diversify that diet with fruits and vegetables, right?
Right. So we're just, you know, when the kids are in the kitchen helping make foods, then they're much more likely to try them, especially if it's a different food. We often do some, you know, try to expand their horizons with these cooking classes. This one isn't probably quite as different. You know, they're pretty, won't be trying any super, you know, out there kind of fruits or vegetables, but still we find that, you know, there's kids that you know, if it didn't come from a fast food restaurant, they're not going to eat it. And so this is expanding their horizons even in that regard.
So a lot of kids, they think that everything that you get in the grocery store has to be packaged or comes in a can.
Right.
But you can make a lot of good things with fresh fruits and vegetables.
And it doesn't have to be complicated.
No.
So, you know, in this class, you're being a little more complicated in the fact that we're making our tortillas, and you could certainly buy them very easily at the grocery store. But it's just the fact that it's something, you know, they're going to get a new skill.
So if people want to come to this, what do they need to do?
They need to go to the library website, which is
the Columbia Public Library.
Right, Columbia Public Library, dbrl.org, and register. So they do need to register ahead of time. We have a limited class size, and they do need to come with an adult.
Okay. So don't just drop your 3-year-old kid off.
No, we need a parent.
You got to have an adult with them.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be the parent, right?
No,
just so it's an adult.
Just an adult.
So go to
an older sibling.
Go to the website, Daniel Boone Regional Library website. Sign up. The class is on
January 30th, and it's from 2 to 3 in the Friends Room.
Okay, 2 to 3 in the afternoon. The 30th, is that
It's a Saturday.
Saturday.
So.
Okay. KRISTEN Eiffert, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks.
And Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, too.
Now, I turn to Mike Gold, and Mike is with the Center for Agroforestry.
That's right.
And my first question to you is, what are we talking about? What is agroforestry?
Agroforestry, eventually what we're doing is we are designing integrated systems to produce alternative crops and also protect the environment all at the same time. So in other words, we are combining trees with crops or trees with crops and animals in design systems. So does that make sense?
Okay, no, it doesn't. You're combining trees with crops and animals with crops.
And trees. So let me give you an example.
All right.
There are 5 agroforestry practices that we recognize. One is very familiar to everyone, which is windbreaks. Okay, we all know that from the Dust Bowl times until now. And what do windbreaks do? They protect the soil from moving, and they protect the crops in the windy areas out in the plains. Okay. There's another practice that we do that we call it silvopasture. So we integrate trees and forages and cattle. Okay, and what it turns out is that in the heat of the summer, and in the cold winter like today, cattle actually thrive much, much better if they can graze under the partial shade of a tree canopy than out either freezing or baking out on an open pasture.
That makes sense.
Yeah, so when you integrate what we call silvopasture, which means grazing under trees with grazing in open areas, your cattle actually do better over the course of a year and you make more income.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a diversified system, it's an integrated and managed system, and that's one example of agroforestry.
Now, is this all organic growing that we're talking about?
Does not have to be. It could be. It does not have to be. It depends on the individual landowner. If you want to produce your crops in an agroforestry situation, you can. And if you want to use herbicides, pesticides, you can. Mm-hmm. What we're talking about really is the components that you integrate in a design system.
Now, my neighbor across the road has several thousand head of cattle. He does everything without any mechanical tractors, no pesticides, no herbicides. He does what's called high-intensity grazing. Are you familiar with that? Where the cattle move from one plot of land to the next, they fertilize it, and then it's given time to regenerate.
And is his name Greg Judy?
Yes, Greg Judy. Yeah. So you know Greg Judy.
Sure. Yes,
yeah, in fact, he's been on Radio Friends talking about this.
And in fact, Greg Judy, we have a week-long agroforestry academy in the summer. And we took the group of trainees to his farm, and they're now beginning to do silvopasture on his farm because he's interested in integrating trees into his pasture grazing system.
Yeah, he was telling me, this was last year, the year before last, he was spreading raw milk, raw unpasteurized milk on the grassland for fertilization.
You got me.
Okay.
I don't know about that. I believe it, but
he was doing it, and I couldn't figure out. And he said, if you want to help the land, put milk, but it can't be pasteurized milk. It has to be raw milk. Would that fall into agroforestry?
Oh, well, using something like milk, that's a soil amendment. So that's not integrating different kinds of elements into a system.
Okay.
That's just like putting manure down or putting compost down or something.
But if people want to, is there a website that people can go to if
Absolutely.
they want more information about agroforestry?
Yes, we just put it all into one big word, centerforagroforestry.org.
And that will give you all the information that you need.
Right, including what I wanted to also talk about today, which is this upcoming symposium that we're going to have.
When is that?
So that's the 28th of January. That's in the Monsanto Life Sciences Auditorium.
And people are welcome to come to this?
Free and open to the public. And what we're going to do is actually talk about using agroforestry to attract pollinator insects and create more habitat.
So that'll be January 30th.
28th.
January 28th. Mike, thank you so much for coming by.
Thank you.
Out of time for today. I want to remind you that our program, directed by Travis McMillen, Reynolds Journalism Institute, audio Pat Akers, KBIA. Our floor director is Kevin Casson. Our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. Tomorrow, our guest is John Wright. Join us then.